So what we're basically going to do is go through a slideshow that we have, so you can't really communicate with us at this point in time. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask them. And once we've gone through the slideshow, then I'm going to take over and show you Canvas, the portal, and some things like that. So if you have questions, please feel free to write them in the chat area. But if not, I think we're going to get started. So again, my name is Diane Reinhardt. I'm the Online Support Administrator. I believe you've probably gotten some emails from me in the past week or two. And let me introduce you to my compatriot here.
Good evening, everyone. This is Shirley Mazzavani. I'm the educator coach here with BayPath for the online and the Saturday or the one-day-week students. I recognize some of your names, so I am some of your advisors. You should have gotten an email from me by now if I am your advisor. It was the email that you supplied to admissions, so just make sure you're checking that. And we'll begin. So to put a face to the name, this is Diane and this is me, how to contact us. And some of the things we're going to go over tonight. So things you got to do to make sure you're ready for class, about the on-ground class and about the online classes, proven skills to master, what's your learning style, what if you need help, such as tutoring, things to make sure you're doing, how to be successful on Saturdays and online, honoring yourself and each other, and who the staff and advisors are. So the first session, start now. So basically, even though it doesn't start until next week, you want to start now. Be proactive rather than reactive. So a couple things. You want to practice on the portal and Canvas. Be comfortable. You're going to be using both of these on a regular basis to communicate and to log on to your classes. So get comfortable. And that's something that Diane will go over in detail with you. Access your syllabus. There's a wealth of information on the syllabi, and you want to access all the information on there. Any questions about books, assignments, anything for expectations, everything's on there, so make sure you're looking at that. Books can take a while to get, so just make sure you're proactive about that. And if you know anybody that's gone here before, maybe reach out to them and see if they still have their book. Pre-class assignments, definitely begin those. They're due for on-ground classes the first Saturday, and they will be expected to be handed in, and then online that first Thursday. And just get ready. You know, you're making a big decision. It's not going to be easy, but you know, everybody's here to kind of help you and help you through any challenges you're facing. There's a lot of resources here, and you know, lean on the other students, whether online or in class. So prep yourself mentally. Renegotiate social contracts. So, you know, if you have classes on Saturday morning, you might want to change your Friday night outings to maybe Saturday night. Make sure you have a computer and a printer. You're going to need those, but you can also access the ones on campus. And, you know, just make sure you have those for yourselves. Okay, so when do classes begin? So on the Longmeadow campus, in the morning, it starts around 7:30 to 12:30. Something to keep in mind is you can really park wherever, obviously not, you know, handicapped, but get here around 7 because sometimes parking can get kind of tricky. And then afternoon starts around 1:15 and ends at 6:15, and lunch will be from 12:30 to 1:15. If you're in Sturbridge, again, same times. Not familiar with the parking situation is like there, but you can also, you know, ask somebody there, your admissions counselor. And lunch again, 12:30 to 1:30. Get there early, get a good night's sleep, and just make sure you're reviewing the material. You know, they are accelerated classes, so you want to, you know, make sure you're prepared and reading up instead of showing up in class and saying, okay, I'll just catch up the next week. But at the same time, relax, enjoy yourself, try not to put too much pressure on yourself, and just enjoy the experience. So some suggestions. Do the readings 3 days in advance. You know, I mean, you'll know yourself, you'll get to know yourself if this is kind of the first time you're going back in a while, or you'll figure out what you need to do, but generally 3 days in advance, so you're not doing it the night before. The first assignment is due on Thursdays for online classes, and then the other ones are due on Saturdays. But you can do them ahead. You can hand them in. So that's, you know, that's up to you.
And I'm going to walk you through, like I say, the orientation class. So regardless whether you're attending online at one of the online or at one of the campuses, these are just some hints to you. Like I say, the online classes, all your information, your first assignment is due Thursday, but really pay close attention to your syllabus would be something I would suggest to you. But your assignments are due Thursdays and Saturdays, where if you're at one of the campuses, obviously your assignments are due on Saturday when you attend class.
So some proven skills to master. Time management is definitely a big one. Life is busy for us. I'm sure most of you are working and have families to take care of, and now you're adding in this education component. So it's just a matter of figuring out a good time management skill. So, just don't wait until the day before to do the weekly assignments. Take that stress off you. And if you have to ask for help from family members, from friends, and don't put so much pressure on yourself. If you're taking 2 classes, consider splitting it up, using half of the week to prepare for one assignment and maybe the other half to do the other one instead of all at once. But again, you'll figure out what works best for you. And again, delegate. Don't expect to, be Superwoman. You can, you're taking on a big thing that you should be proud of yourself, but ask for help. And if it's offered, take it. And use all the resources here and at home and around you. The flexibility. Be willing to accept less than perfection. So, you might want to say, I'm going to get A's in all my classes, but don't put so much pressure on yourself. It's very possible, but just do the best that you can. School it can change from year to year, month to month, and decades to decades. So just take your time, get back into the swing of things, and it'll all work out.
Yeah, and that's what's great about, all of you folks coming tonight. This is great. This is a step that you are taking to prepare yourself for these things. You're listening to us. You're thinking about getting yourself in that right mindset because, this is the time to do this preparation in advance because once those classes begin, time is going to come at a premium. So if you can do as much as you can right now to prepare for that upcoming 6 weeks, this is going to be most helpful for you.
What is your learning style? So it's good to know how you learn best. Some of us learn more visually by seeing things like charts or pictures or graphs. Some people learn best by just listening and then reciting, or tactile by actually doing something or seeing others do that in videos. So it's good to kind of learn your style. That's something you'll learn in a class called Well 220. So any of you that are registered in that's something you'll be learning as well. What if I need help? I can't stress this enough. I've been here since January, and there's so many great free resources here for math, for writing. There's an ESL tutor. So take advantage. And if it's your advisor or we send out lots of email communication, there's weekly newsletters, there's probably postings on campus. But any type of issues you're having, whether it's with statistics or writing a paper or research, even the librarians, there's so many resources. So take advantage of it because they can really help you succeed in the classes. So on campus, you can also go into the portal, which Diane will show you, and it'll say tutoring. Online, there's something called Smart Thinking that's a great resource. And then don't forget about your classmates, study groups or just reach out to them and don't be afraid to ask for that help. It's there and that's what it's there for. Okay, so some of the things you just want to make sure that,
sorry. I apologize. I saw that someone had raised their hand and I was attempting to see what the question was and making sure you guys could all still hear us, and I accidentally went too far forward. So I believe this is where we're back at in the slideshow. I apologize.
That's okay, Dan. So just make sure you've done some of the following. Financial aid counselor, just make sure that you're all set and you understand everything about that. I believe there's some initial counseling you'll need to do. Your bill, just make sure that's all set. And your immunizations, if you're going to be on campus, health services does need them, and if they don't receive them by a certain date, they end up putting your account on hold. So just make sure that you've got them, and any questions, just reach out and ask us. And again, mentally prepared, it's definitely a big thing that you're doing, but you should be proud of yourself and be assured that people are there to help you every step of the way. So just some things to be successful on Saturdays or online. Don't miss a class, a posting if you're doing online, or an assignment. Again, these are accelerated classes, so it's easy to fall behind if you miss a class. Also, familiarize yourself with the attendance policy, and constantly communicate anything with the instructors and your advisor. Make sure that we're aware of everything that's happening. Make the time for homework and studying. Sometimes it seems like it's not feasible, but when you take the time out to say, okay, I'm going to spend this day or that day and this time, it ends up working. Involve, participate, get involved in the discussions, and really, you're paying for these classes and this education, really involve yourself into it. Get the help if you need it. Use your advisor. That's what we're here for. Ask us questions. You're never, ever bothering us. And if we don't have the answer, we can certainly point you in the right direction. And again, know the attendance and the withdrawal and the SAP policies. You want to really pay attention to important dates so that you don't get charged for classes if you plan to withdraw. And then again, the attendance policy. And some of the activities in class, it won't just be lecture, these are long classes, in class. So you'll be doing some homework review. There'll be a lot of group discussions. There'll be videos. You'll be doing presentations and, of course, tests. So don't feel like you're going to be coming there, sitting there for 6 hours and just listening to somebody speak. It will be interactive.
Yeah, and the great thing is, those of you who are taking online classes, the EXT 097 class gives you kind of a taste of that online environment where you're participating in the discussion, you're watching my videos, you're reading some of the content I have, you're taking quizzes. So you're doing much the same thing in that class too. So even though, one's an on-ground experience, one's an online experience, there are similarities, and so you're definitely getting the best of both worlds by trying that out.
So you want to honor each other, honor yourself. Academic integrity, it is something that's taken very seriously here. So as far as any kind of plagiarism or anything like that, cheating, it can be tempting, but you want to always be true to yourself and make good decisions. At the end of the day, there's lots of resources here. So if you ever have any questions or you're unsure how to do research or document or cite, just ask, and there's the resources there for you. So to introduce everybody, again, to put faces to the name, Dr. Ivana Nespor is our Chief Learning Officer here. Marisol Cruz, she's the Director of the Long Meadow Campus. Meredith Coach, she's our Program Director for the Education Program. Chelsea Klein, she's the Assistant Director of the Student and Career Services, as well as the Director of the WELL program. So most of you will be taking most of the WELL classes, so any questions you can ask her. Maureen Devlin, she's our Director of Student and Career Services, also the Director of our LOS program. Diane Reinhardt, who you've met, is our Online Support Administrator. Catherine Frazier, she's our Assistant Director of Advising, Registration, and Support. Samara Blake, she's our Director of the Psychology Programs. Myself, Educator Coach here. Kelly Payne, she's the Assistant Director of Liberal Studies and also the Director of the Prior Learning Assessment. Shakina Williams, she's our Senior Director of the Business Programs. And Ann Chapdelaine, she's our Manager of Student Financial Services. So again, any financial aid questions, you can ask her. The Burlington campus, so we have Mary Wislotsky, she's the Director of Admissions. Amy Carmack, she's the Assistant Director of Advising, Support, and Registration. Jonathan Davey is Assistant Director of Advising, Support, and Registration. Michelle Montel is the Administrative Assistant, and Tracy Vingo is the Librarian. In Sturbridge, we have Tracy Romanak. She's the Manager of Operations. Andy Rosario is the Administrative Assistant. We have Jill Matoika, who's the Director of Admissions, and this is how to contact them. So questions.
All right.
You must have some.
Right. So as you guys have realized, you can't talk to us. So this is a webinar, so what you would actually have to do is type your questions. So you'd have to type any questions to us, and then once you have, then we can go ahead and respond to that. So I did see that Heather, you had your hand raised. So if you have some questions, would you please type that so that I can start to respond to you? Because what we're basically going to do, give a few seconds here, see, aha, perfect, there's a question. So what we're going to do is answer any questions you may have, so please take this opportunity. This is questions on advising. Any questions like that? Is there a charge for smart thinking? No, there is not. So that's a great thing, and what I'm going to do is talk you through, whenever I get to my portion and I show you how to get to it on the portal, I will be explaining to you how to get to it so that you do not get charged, because there is a pay version, but part of your fees and tuition of coming here at Bay Path includes that membership for you for free. All right, wonderful. Thanks for asking, Heather. Brianna, how do you know who is your advisor and financial advisor? Okay, well, I believe you mean for financial aid, that one person is Ann Chapdelaine. And as for your advisor, I'm going to actually be showing you in our discussion on the portal how to get to your schedule. And then once you get to your schedule, you will see, because it'll print up, it'll show you who your advisor is. So I'm going to show you that next. And Jennifer, thanks for asking. So it's, who do I contact to figure out which classes to take next? I'm actually going to let Shirley go ahead and answer this one, if you don't mind.
So great question, Jennifer. It's actually the question of the moment these days. The fall schedule is actually being worked on right now and developed, and then probably in the next couple of weeks, you're going to get some email communication. So make sure you get all set up with your BayPath email. And your advisor basically works with you on that. It is a self-registration process. And they'll, don't worry about that because there'll be lots of webinars and people will be able to walk you through. And your advisor will be there to help make sure that you're selecting the correct classes. But right now, just kind of stay tuned because we don't even know really what's available yet. But that, that's definitely something that's being worked on. So I would just, sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks, just start looking for some communication from probably the registrar's office and then also your advisor.
Yep, and you'll also be getting information from me because like we said, you'll be doing it online registration. So one of the things I'm also going to be showing you when I get to showing you the portal is I'll be showing you your advising worksheet. So that is, it used to be a student degree audit. You can call them any of the same things. That is kind of a roadmap for your career, your education path here at Bay Path. So what it will do is show you classes that you may have transferred in from other college experiences that were accepted, and also it will show you what you still have remaining between electives, program classes. So it will show you all those things that you and your advisor work together depending on when a course is available to sign yourself up for. So it's definitely a great thing to look at now. And number one, make sure that the credits that you expected to transfer in have transferred in properly. And also just to get an idea of what you have upcoming. So fantastic questions. Thanks all of you for asking. If you have any more, please go ahead and jump on in. Otherwise, I'm probably going to give about 2 more minutes, maybe 1 more minute, because you guys seem like you're on the ball. See, I knew it. As soon as I told you that the sale was ending, you jumped right in. All right. So when going on campus to use the library resources, etc., do we need a student ID? Julie, great question. I don't believe you need it just to go in, but to check anything out, yes, you will. So I know on the first day of class on campus in Long Meadow, I speak of, you can get your ID from them. So Julie, are you local to the Western Mass area?
She's along.
Okay, so you're going to be coming here to the Long Meadow campus, so that's great. So on your very first day, your Saturday one-day class, maybe a quick break over during lunch would be to go over and get your student ID. It'll help you for, like you say, getting your resources from the library. It also has the 77 number that we've spoken of, or we will speak of shortly. If any of you don't have it, you can always refer back to that. So great question. So that would be on campus on your first day of class, and for you that would be June 14th, Flag Day. All right. So that was great questions. I really appreciate all those. So what I'm going to do as I break and go into my section and showing the portal is I'm going to actually hide the screen from you so I can log on and gain access. But if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in there, and I will get to them in a second, okay? All right, so we are back. So what I'm actually going to show you right now is some information on a young lady named Fiona Elephant. No, she's not a real student. So some of the things may not show exactly like what yours will look like, but they'll get you some basic ideas. And that way it's not sharing any confidential information of anyone. So things that I find most important when it comes to getting onto the portal is, number one, getting on. So what I will ask is, if anyone has not yet been able to get on the portal, I would like you to send me a message. You can send it through here, and then that way I will know to address it first thing in the morning, because I'm really hoping that by now every single one of you has gotten onto the portal. And as I walk through, you will be working on getting onto your Gmail account. You'll also be getting onto Canvas, which, like I said, if it's whether you're an online or on-ground student, there is an orientation course there for you. So like I said, if you haven't been able to get on the portal, please send me a message right now through our chat, and then I will get back to you. So I haven't seen any messages pop up, so I'm actually thought I did. You had to wreck it. I'm online. How do I get an ID? We'll come back to that, okay, Jennifer? I'm going to go to it very quickly, because in the event that you may have forgotten your password information, you may have to do this again, because this is where you reset a password. So we go to my.baypath.edu. As soon as you do that, you come to the home screen and you click on Login Help, and you activate your account. This is where you would type your 77 number, which is the number that was sent to you by IT. It's a letter showing what your username and your email address is, and your username is generally your first initial of your first name and your last name. But if we've had other women at the college with a similar name, we will put a number at your name. So what you would do is put your 77 number and 2 of the 3 validation fields, either your last 4 digits of your Social Security number, your date of birth, year, month, day, or your home street or P.O. Box number only. And then you verify your information, are asked to create a password given the criteria of 8 characters, upper and lower case, and a number. And once you've done that, then you are given a link to log into the portal again. And once you've done that, you're all set. When you do the first login for Canvas and Gmail, you will have to do it one time as a single sign-on. But the good thing is, once you've logged on, it's the same password. So you don't have to have a Gmail email account that's separate. It's your BayPath email and the password that you set up when you set up this account. So that saves a little bit. I know we all have so many things to remember in numbers and passwords, we hardly need another. So that's on the home login help section. So then the next things are on the welcome screen, very important things. One of the important things, whether you're on campus or online, is signing up for the E2 Campus alert notifications. So what you would do is sign up using, creating a username. So you put in a username in this area, put your first name, last name, create a password, verify your password, and then select what relates to you. So if you're a Burlington one-day student or you're an online student, please click this. You then can actually put in your mobile phone number and select the carrier, and you can get a text. But if you don't, it will go to your email. Agree to the terms, and that will be a way that it lets you know. So if you're an on-campus student, it will let you know if there's inclement weather and class has been canceled, or if there's some reason you can't get to campus. And if you're an online student, there are times when the portal goes down, and this is a way of letting you know the portal is unavailable. And there is another way to get to your BayPath Canvas account so that you can still submit your assignments even if the portal is down. So I can show you that. And I will. So that's the first important thing. The E2 Campus, real simple, real quick. Just sign up for it, and it'll make your life easier if for some reason you can't get on campus or can't get to our resources. Second thing is to look at your Gmail account. Now, if I click on this, it'll bring up my Gmail account. But this is where you go to get your email. As I said, you will have to sign on usually with your username and your password one time. You can often tell your computer to remember you. If it's a computer you're always going to be on, it makes life easier. And then that is the main way that the college will be communicating with you. Whenever you are given information from financial aid or other locations on campus, that will be the method by which they communicate. So even though I've sent emails to you using your private email, after this you really want to be focusing on using your Gmail account. Because that's, like I say, when Shirley was mentioning how the college will be in touch with you in the next few weeks about registration, we will be sending it to your BayPath Gmail account. So of course then we have Canvas, the learning management system. So that's software that basically allows us to host a virtual classroom. And as many of you have seen because you've come on to the EXT097 course, it's organized in a way that makes sense. It's in a module setup. And like I say, we're going to go into that in a little bit, but that's basically how the online classrooms are hosted. But, and I always re-emphasize this, it is also for your on-ground courses. Your instructors are asked to put your syllabus up there because within your syllabus, that is where your pre-class assignment is listed. And also it just gives you information to access. So we want them to put it up in an electronic format so you can get to it far before actually seeing them on June 14th. And then second to that, we ask them to put your assignments. Now this is something we're working toward because we think it's really useful for you to be able to maybe save a tree and submit an assignment electronically versus having to hand in a piece of paper. Plus, it actually does make things a little easier for the instructors. We're still trying to sell them on that, but I'm working on it. So it's helpful for you also because you can view your grades immediately within Canvas too. So that's why I really do emphasize going through the Learning Management course, the EXT097, and just participate fully in it. Not a lot of assignments, not a lot that I'm asking you to do. Put up a picture, participate in a discussion, reply to a couple of classmates, submit an assignment, which can be anything. So there's really not too much, but if you're an online student, please do this and use it now, because the more you get used to it, the more you'll be ready for your classes. Okay, that's all I'm going to preach on Canvas until I get into it. I also want to show you research guides within the Hatch Library. There's a phenomenal resource for you, which is through the Hatch Library. And I want to also emphasize that whether you're an online student, you can also get information and get resources from the campus. So, from the campus library, even if you're an online student, they can actually mail you a book. So that's a pretty phenomenal resource that they have. See, request an item by mail. How awesome is that? So you can search through things. The other neat thing is there's a lot of research guides, resources. Please click on this because you will find that you will use these in your courses. And once again, on ground or online, that's where you're going to find a lot of resources because you can trust these academic resources. They've been vetted by the college, and they are something that you would want to be putting into your papers. So we also have a SysAid tech support. This is where you enter if you're having difficulty. So I know I've walked you through a video, and I sent that to you early on if you're having trouble, say, with Canvas, the portal, not seeing a class, if you're having trouble logging in. So you always start with TAWC, T-A-W-C, the American Women's College, and that directs it to me. And then I want you to just, in the description area, put as much information as possible so I can really understand exactly what problem you're having and be able to diagnose this and get you an answer as soon as possible. Next few things are the bookstore. So this is somewhere where we can look to get books, if you chose. And then second to that are the online tutoring. So we have online tutoring and on-campus tutoring. So the online tutoring is Smart Thinking, and I know someone had asked, do we have to pay for Smart Thinking? No, as long as you come to it through this resource. So you log in. Now it automatically picks up the fact that you've already signed in as a certain username, and then you come into Smart Thinking site. We're just going to go ahead and click to continue because it lets us know what browsers are supported. We're going to skip through this, and then I just want you to really see all the resources that are available. Everything from if you're struggling with writing a resume or cover letter, writing an essay in general, maybe you haven't written an academic paper in several years. So the resources are here. You have to follow the rules of how it asks you to do it. So it says, what are you looking for to have your writing done over by a tutor? Then you put in information. What's the course level? What's the title of your course? Who's your professor? What's the due date? Is this your first draft? What's the title? Please describe the assignment. But if you put this information in, someone can actually look at it and check for you if you've written a good main idea or thesis, if your organization of the paper is good. So these are, yes, you have to put a little effort in to get this, but you're getting a phenomenal resource back in the feedback that you can get from a qualified tutor. And like I say, if you're online, you don't have to feel like you're out in the woods. Someone's right here to help you. So definitely something I encourage you to take advantage of. So there's different languages. There's so many resources. Mathematics, tutoring, accounting, study skills. Really, you could probably spend 3 days on this site alone. So peruse it now in the event that you feel you may have a class coming up that you might struggle with. Think about it now. Think about getting some of these resources in place ahead of time. You can't obviously get through your writing assignment, but maybe you feel weak in mathematics. Now is the time to see what resources are available to you. And if you're on campus or at a campus location that is close enough to Longmeadow, you can actually even sign up, and this is how phenomenal this is. You can schedule to get in with one of these particular, so see, I'm Fiona. I can book in to meet with one of these tutors. So pretty phenomenal. Resources are available to you. We really can't emphasize that enough to you, that there are resources available. All you have to do is ask. And if you don't know who to ask me, because even if I don't know exactly what situation it is, I can ask some of my resources and get you the help you need. And like I say, don't wait until it's too late. Be proactive. And if you feel you're getting behind, always your instructor is a great resource to ask questions of. But like I said, myself, Shirley, your advisors, any of us are all very willing to help you in any way we can. So those are my pitches on that. So let me show you a few other things that are really important on the portal. I think the things that you will most often focus on are the Students tab, Academics, and of course the Welcome page. So we've really covered the Welcome page. So let's take a look at the Students tab. Now please bear in mind again that this is a fake student schedule. It's not exactly the same, but it'll get us what we need to do. So you say, well, who's my advisor? That question was asked. So we're going to come to the student schedule. So we actually have a class in there, which is great. So I'm going to click on View All Details or View Details. And I'm actually going to print the schedule because I think it'll show it to me. I'm hoping that this individual has, okay, great, she does. She has an advisor. This actually happens to be the registrar, but that's close enough for your purposes. So it lets you know who your advisor is. This also is phenomenal because it shows you exactly what class you're taking, who the instructor is. This is a traditional class, but it shows what days of the week. So for you, it would be either Saturday or online. So it shows you the period it begins, ends, the time if it's a on-campus class, the location on campus, Burlington, Sturbridge, whatever room it is, and the number of credits. So again, this is your student schedule. I'm going to show you again how we got to it. So we start back at the Students tab. Now remember, I just want to show you one thing. I didn't use this back button. You never want to use your browser back button. You always want to move safely within the portal by using either this navigation or your breadcrumbs right here. And these are called breadcrumbs. So we go to students. We see our schedule. It says student schedule. We view details. This is showing for spring 2014. Let's go ahead and do print my schedule. And boom, my advisor, what year that I'm actually in, so whether junior, senior, freshman. Your 77 number is listed. Once again, that's their student ID, the number that you would need for getting into the portal.
So add, drop a course.
Add, drop a course. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is your schedule. Great to look at now. Make sure that the classes that you believe you signed up with your admissions counselor are truly actually scheduled for you. So please make sure that you, if you believe you're an online student and you happen to see one that's on campus, now's the time to get that changed. So please take this step, take a look at your schedule, make sure it's accurate, and if there's anything that you see that seems out of the ordinary, please be in contact with your advisor to address any issues you may see.
And you want to try to do that. Tomorrow is technically the last day to add a course, and next Friday is the last day to drop a course. So that's something you'll want to do at the latest, tomorrow afternoon, so you can get in contact with your advisor. Because it's okay to make any changes. You just want to be cognizant of the dates.
Thank you. I didn't even know that myself. So that's within the schedule. So again, I'm going to move back by clicking students. Another thing, you see the Smart Thinking logon. This is still a safe way to log on to it. I know I told you only get to it from the portal. Well, we're still on the portal. We just aren't on the welcome page. So you can also log on to it from here. It'll bring you to the same location. Other things that I really want to show you are the catalogs, calendars, and student guidebooks. So this is also, it's actually a link, and it brings you into the academics section. But just because it's all stuff that's really related to you as a student, we put a little link there to make it easier for you. So you will see things that relate to you. So if you ever see TAWC, that's the American Women's College. That's whether you're a one-day Saturday student or whether you're an online student. So whenever you see TAWC, that's you, and that's what you want to look at. You don't want to look at traditional. You don't want to look at graduate. You're not there yet. So definitely look at TAWC. Talk one-day catalog. So once again, this is your guidebook. I believe they've been mailed.
Yeah, I think they've been mailed, but keep in mind too, looking at the dates, the new ones are being developed right now. So especially the catalog, which has course descriptions and a whole wealth of information, and prerequisites and audits and things like that. That's actually being developed right now. So you can look at those, but if you see something that you're concerned about, I wouldn't worry just yet or ask any questions just yet. That should be done sometime this month.
Okay. So that's good. As she mentioned to you, it's really important when I was talking earlier about your audit and courses and planning for your future. That's where you have that ability. So you say no, you need a history elective or a history course. This lets you look in there and see what you might be interested in. Are you interested in U.S. history after the Civil War, or are you interested in the Holocaust? Are you interested in, there's several different options you have, and the catalog will actually show you courses and prerequisites, so that kind of guides you as you're making those decisions. So again, that was on the Students tab. And right here, this little blue link, and like I said, it brings you both to the guidebook, the catalog, and the calendars. And that actually really helps you with knowing what our start dates are, because we obviously don't run on a 15-week semester. We run on 6-week sessions with some period in between, some days off. Like in this session, we'll have the July 4th weekend off. So you won't be a full 6 weeks. You're going to be 7 weeks because you actually have 1 week off in between. So definitely something I wanted to show you. So as we said, students, and right there. So other things within the students area is advising. Very important. This is your degree audit. I know, we've talked about it. Here it is again. And I'm going to click on it, and don't click twice. I know I do it too. As soon as we get that little circle going, just give it a second to come up. It takes a great deal of patience, which I don't have either, but we need to so otherwise it'll kick us out and give us an error screen. So I'm going to always recommend to click Recalculate Student Progress first.
Give it a minute.
Give it a minute. I'm sitting here with my fingers crossed. All right. And now let's go into the degree audit. Now this will show you, obviously, fake student, but I want you to see it. So who your advisor is, it's listed up here again. Your name, your 77 number, your major. This is important. You may have accidentally, or we may have made an error. So just please check this information up top here. Make sure you know. So transferred in credits, it should show credits that you've transferred in. So please check this at your earliest convenience. Make sure it looks accurate to you. So this shows a class that's already been taken, but I want to show you the map of it, the code. So if it's a course in progress, it'll look like this. If it's been met, as you see up above, you get the green check mark. And if it's a requirement that's not met, well, then you got to take it. So this gives you the great idea. So we have a cybersecurity program. That's the major. And this shows me all the courses I need to take for that major. Now, there's still, actually, are there any electives?
If you go down, maybe.
If I go down. All right, so here's the electives. So there's 19 credits required of general electives. You go, well, what am I supposed to take? Well, that's when you work with your advisor, look at the course catalog, go from there. But I really just want to show you this. It's obviously not too phenomenal because this is a fake student with no work at all done. And I'm sure many of you do have transfer credits in, so you will probably see many of these things checked off, except for maybe your program courses, the WELL courses, which are very specific to us here at Bay Path. So you are taking them whether you are a business major, whether you're a cybersecurity major, it doesn't matter. It's part of the Women Empowered as Learners and Leaders program that Bay Path definitely would like everyone to participate in. So again, this was your advising worksheet, degree audit, any of the terminology fits.
And it's something that your advisor always, we see the same thing. We might see it from a different screen, but that's what I always reference. And that's also what the registrar's office is looking at as well, to make sure that you're on track. So any questions, whether it's now or session to session or in the middle of the session, if you see anything, just reach out to your advisor and via email or call them, and and usually it's something that can just be clarified.
Okay, thank you. And once again, advisors is right here. So you really see these things in several places. So I'm going to go back to students again, and now I'm going to go to registration. Now, we have not quite determined whether we're going to have you register via your student degree audit or whether we'll have you do add drop. So don't you worry about this right now. We're going to let you know which way we'd like you to do it. But I know that Shirley mentioned add drop. Now this is a place where we want to just show you, we're in add drop right now, so you could certainly put in, if you were a student, you could put in the course code so you want to add a course. ACC 100, Accounting 100, you could add that and click add course. If you were past that, I'm going to show you that also, which is in registration, where you actually have to fill out a form. So we're going to go back to students. We're going to go to registration. And actually, I think it's under registrar.
Yeah.
I'm saying the wrong thing.
Yep.
Registration, registrar. Okay,
Yep.
my apologies.
Yeah.
Registrar's office. And here,
Go up to school. Yep.
SPAS. We used to be called the School of Professional and Adult Studies, but now we're called the American Women's College. All right, so here's course add drop. So this is prior to the second class meeting, course withdraw after second class meeting. Really, these are forms you want to be very careful with and be very cognizant of because they have financial aid ramifications. So please, before you fill these out, be in contact with your advisor. Very, very important. I do want to walk you through what we did again. So academics now, so we've jumped off the students tab.
Actually, you could go to students.
I could go to students.
Yeah, I guess it's, and then registrar's office, but.
Oh, I don't get to it.
Yeah,
fair enough.
There.
She's teaching me things.
But I don't know. I mean, there's kind of different ways that you can get.
These
to
are
it.
all quick links, so these are all meant to bring you very quickly to the certain aspects of the portal, or you can navigate and then you end up following the breadcrumb trail of what was that? Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh yeah.
I think. So anyway, there's quite a few resources here, though, on the academic section of the registrar's page, from CLEP, prior learning assessment, information on that, a change of address, if you want to withdraw, leaves of absence. So there's quite a few forms here to look at, and some information also that is very pertinent to you. So now, just a reminder, we're in spring 2014, session 3. We will be registering, as we've told you, pretty soon for fall 2014. But so forms are here. These are things where your advisor may say, well, did you fill out the add-drop form? And you say, well, where is it? Academics, registrars, School of Professional and Adult Studies, and you can see right here, that's the path. And these are the forms.
And don't worry if you don't, remember. I have under my email signature some links. As long as you're logged into the portal, it should take you right to this page. But if you're having any questions, we can't unfortunately do it for you, but we're absolutely here to walk you through it. So, any questions, if you're like, oh, I can't remember, just call or email, and we can walk you through it over the phone, via email, in person, whatever you prefer.
So, and the great thing about the portal, you're not going to break it. So I know in our earlier registration, we asked you to jump in and get used to it. Please, this is the time. Jump in, get used to it, move around, see how you can navigate. See, you'll hit the error. You'll hit a button twice and get the error message. It's okay. Do it now before you actually need to worry about it. So now's the time to come in, take a look at the resources that are available, and that's that. So I really think I've probably hit on everything I want to talk about on the portal, because I want to jump into Canvas and show you your course. So let me do that. And I want to, of course, if there are any questions, please feel free to type them, and I will be jumping into those. All right, this is another person, so excuse me, let me log out. And so we are in the EXT 097 course. So I know I've also invited all of you to this. I have seen several of you have been participating, which is excellent. Please realize that participation and completion is required by all of you before your classes begin, so that is on June 12th. So by June 12th, all of you need to have been complete with these assignments. As I said, there's really not a lot of them. I'm only asking you to do 6 things. So participate in discussion, send me a message, submit an assignment, put your profile picture up, take a quiz, and do a final assignment. So please do these few things, and the quicker that you can move through them, the quicker you can access your courses and know what you need to do. Because as I was saying, your other courses should be available to you. So if you click up here, you will see your other courses. So these are past courses I've been in or been a part of, but this would be where we're going to click back on this one. You want to go in and click on your syllabus. Hopefully they'll put something like this which says click here to download a copy, or if not, it will say what the name of the course is. So you can always click to download it, or you could also just view it by clicking on that little magnifying glass. Yeah. Magnifying glass. And within there, the things I really want to point out in your syllabus are the contact information, which is always first and foremost in the message. And then secondly, we're going to skip down. These are the important things we want you to learn. But with you, I know you're thinking, well, what book do I need? So this is where you look. So once you've gone through the objectives, you will generally find what text is required. So some of them will say none, because they will be posting their information here on Canvas. So just be careful, be aware, be ready to look at that now, because you still have time before your classes begin. So they should be putting, hopefully, an ISBN number, and if they are not, they'll be putting the book number and the author in addition, so that you can look at that from any resource like Amazon or anything like that to be able to make buying your books an affordable process. So again, that should be located under syllabus, and you will find it right there.
And I can't stress enough, all the syllabi on Canvas are very, very comprehensive. There's so much detailed information that will be so useful to you. So they're very lengthy, but try not to get overwhelmed, by it. I mean, obviously, they're the outcomes. Those are things that just have to be in there, attendance policy. But as far as assignments go and requirements and what's being asked of you, it's pretty detailed. So what I would suggest is, read through all of it. But then week by week, just take a look at it, and any questions, email the instructor and ask, clarify, because it's pretty much detailed in there what's expected as far as, for the most part, everything's going to be required to be in APA or MLA format. They'll give examples. They'll make sure, to specify what's needed. So the syllabus can be a huge resource for you. And then, of course, the instructor, if you have any questions, that's what they're there for. They can clarify anything. No question is too small.
And no question is stupid and too soon to ask either.
Yeah.
Like if you're reading the syllabus tonight and you go, well, what do they mean by this? I can't say your instructor is going to get right back to you, but, because courses haven't actually begun, but there's certainly nothing wrong with asking the question. And I know within my course I've created a questions area, which I think is a great thing, and I know some of you have been participating in that. So even in here, if you have questions, please ask them in here, and I'll answer them if I can. And if I can't, and if they're not the right forum here, I'll find out who can find the answer for us. So please ask your questions. The only way you're going to get an answer is by asking, and I don't want you to be in the dark. We want you to succeed. We really do. And we've done all we think we can to help that happen. So I'm going to quickly show you this course. I know many of you have jumped in already. I think the things I want to show you that are going to be different in this one versus another course would be, I just have modules that are giving you the basics of Canvas and education in general. I have resources at the bottom that I really want to bring your attention to, which are the portal, the Bay Path College website, the Hatch Library, understanding online tutoring, also writing resources. This is one of my favorites, the Purdue OWL. It's a great resource for you, whether you're on ground or online. And I know Shirley had mentioned plagiarism. Now I want you guys to understand, we don't think that you're intending to steal something, but it's been probably years for some of you, and even if not, it's just in the level of understanding what plagiarism is, and that's essentially stealing someone else's work, not intentionally even, but copying someone else's work and putting it off as yours. So if you've seen something on a website and you say, I think this, well, if you didn't really think it initially, you kind of can't take credit for it. So these are some resources that just show you what it is and how to be prepared for it. So please, I know that these are beyond what an orientation class is meant to be, but they're really just meant to be resources for you to constantly come back to. I want to show you rubrics because they are in your classes, and they will be part of your discussions, and they will be part of your assignments. So I want you to just see them and then be on the lookout for them in your classes, because what they will help you with is being successful in the sense of it's a guidebook for you. So very quickly, mine is organized in modules that are informational, but you will find your courses are organized in a week format. So they will correspond to the weeks of your course. So let's say that this is week 1. I would come in and do up to the Canvas user profile. So I would click this and watch all these videos, read the PDFs, do any of these things. So this is me participating in the content. And then I would keep going. And I would read all this content, keep going, and then I would do this because this was the last item in this week of class, and I would do this particular assignment, and I would be done. So, like I say, my modules are set up differently than your courses, but you will find that whatever content is in your week, be it a discussion, assignment, overview. So those will be the things you will generally see. You'll see an overview from your instructor letting you know what they'll be covering this week, generally what your readings might be. Maybe it'll be links to the YouTube, or maybe it may be the reading assignments. And then it will be you participating in a discussion that they have created for you in Moby Dick, why do you think that he was chasing the white whale? Okay, so that could be the question. And then you are to reply to that in an educated manner using netiquette, as in my class. It explains to you. And then the next thing is to write a paper. So maybe you're writing a paper on why Ahab was chasing the white whale. And that's your week 1 assignments. So please, if I can emphasize anything, your syllabus is infinitely important. Understanding it is super important. Knowing how your course is organized so that you don't be overwhelmed by this setup. These are all there, but they're all organized in a weekly format. So there's more in this than what you'll see in your other courses for the most part, but it's just to try to give you as many resources as possible. You can always click here to start and go to your direct assignments or your discussions. Well, of course, I click on a discussion, but your discussions also. And then finally, you could view your grades up here, or you could view your grades here. So I know this is quick, but that's because I know my other, the orientation class is so detailed, and you probably don't want to see or hear me really anymore if you've gone through my course. So I think at this point in time, I really want to open it up for questions from all of you. Anything with the portal, anything with Canvas, anything with Shirley for advising, anything with your academic schedule, any questions, concerns, access problems. The floor is yours. All right, well, I am actually going to go back to a past question that I had that I didn't answer because it happened to have come up at a time when we were talking. So it says, I'm online, how do I get an ID? So Jennifer, the way that you do that with getting an ID is I would ask 2 questions. Number 1, what do you want it for? Because if you only want it for getting your books from the library, you don't need to worry about that. The Hatch Library will let you get them if you're a distance learner by typing in your student ID, which is 77 number, which is all over the portal, on your schedule, many different places. So you don't actually need one. If you're an online student that wants it for, you know, getting 10% off at Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, then we might have a little problem because we would ask you to go to a campus location, and if you can't get it, there is a number with the public safety office on campus, and I think they can send you a blank one with your 77 number. So let me know what it is you would like it for, and then I can probably give you some better information on that. So I do have some more questions. So even if we're online students, will the course catalogs, when the course catalogs are ready, will we receive them by mail? No, you will not. They will be on the portal. So, yeah, it's a huge document.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way around saying that it's a huge document. So it was under students, academic catalogs. We'll go to the Talk One Day catalog, just so you can see it. It is, if I were to print it, how many pages is it?
A lot.
It's a lot.
It's 134 back to back, I think.
134 pages.
Yeah.
So no, sorry, we're not actually going to mail that to you. And it's even better if you have it online, believe it or not, because you can actually do what I did, which was find it, you know, so you look in the table of contents and you can scroll. It's so much easier than a piece of paper. So let's see, registration, policies and procedures, page 42. I can just grab this little scroll bar and then I can move it. I'm like 37, 38, 41.
And there's so much information that
42.
won't apply to you because, I mean, it's every program. So if you're not in the business program and you're in psych or, you know, there's going to be so much. The business program is very large because there's so many majors within it that, I mean, why would you want that information? So, you know, it will be available on the portal. So.
Okay.
Okay.
So thanks, Kayla. I appreciate you asking that. Will we need a camera on our laptop for online courses? Well, I can't say for sure, to be very honest. In our technology requirements, we do ask that you have that. So something that exists is you can buy a standalone, but you can also wait and see if you need it. You know, each instructor will do things differently. I have yet to be in a class where I've needed my camera, but I can tell you I have definitely needed a microphone. So sometimes your instructors will ask you to do a voiceover to a PowerPoint presentation, so you definitely need access to a microphone. As for the camera, I honestly, I'm going to be frank with you, I've never had to use it, so certainly wait until such time and see if it's something you need, because for the most part, I haven't used it, and I'm an online student myself, so I don't think so. All right, Lizbeth, you ask, how can I get my 77 number? Okay, well, that is on your student, that is your student ID. That is on a few different places. It's on your course schedule, so I'll show you that. View details, print my schedule. Now, this is a fake student, but here it is, 77 number, okay? Other places you'll find that, students advising, student degree audit, we'll click view all details. Don't click it again. I know, I'm dying to click it again, I gotta tell you. All right, and it shows me, again, click 77 number, so it's right there. So it's in a couple of different places. So if you didn't actually receive a schedule from us, which we actually do hand out at the on-ground orientations, that's the best way to get it. 77 numbers there, or you could have gotten it mailed to you by IT. So let's see where we're at with questions. All great questions, by the way. Thank you all. This really does help because let's say if someone wasn't able to attend tonight, this might be a question that they had, and this is going to answer it for them. So that's wonderful. Again, this is being recorded, so if you came in late, we can certainly send this to everyone. That's what I will be doing tomorrow, is sending this out to all of you, and you can feel free to sorry, the cleaning staff is here for 1 second. I apologize. So let's see if we have any other questions. All right. This is a great question that I may not be able to answer, Kayla. If you receive more financial aid than your bill was and you accept the whole amount, will the amount you're using right away? Kayla, you know what I'm going to do? I can't even come near to answering this question. So what I'm going to do is I can print this and hand it to our financial aid service person, which you saw earlier, Ann Chapdelaine, and she will be in contact with you because I can't even come close to giving you an answer on that.
Any financial aid stuff, I mean, we're somewhat familiar, but it really should be a question for Ann or the business office, but Ann is very helpful, and everybody's situation is subjective, so you definitely want to refer those questions to that department.
Yeah, but since you have to hear, what I'll do is, like I said, I'll forward this to her tomorrow. Okay, so I'm gonna
the hold if it's a financial hold. I'm sorry, Brianna. You said on your degree audit it says a hold exists that may not be viewed. What does that mean? So it kind of depends on what type of hold. It's usually something that has to do with the business office, and it's usually something that's very resolvable. I would either contact your advisor or Ann. That's probably what it is. I can't imagine this early on it has anything to do with your immunizations, because sometimes that will happen, but that usually doesn't happen until the following session. They give you some time if you're an on-ground student to get those in. But it's probably something financial related, and I would contact Ann about that or your advisor.
Great questions, definitely all you. Yeah, like I said, I don't have an answer for all these things, so hopefully some of these questions have answered it. Can we view our bill online? Okay, this is great. Now this is a fake student, but I can actually show you this, so I'm just not sure how much we will see. So we're going to go under students, and we're going to go to the business office, and I apologize, I didn't go here. My account balances. And we wait, and like I said, the fake student may not show. Okay, great. Shows at least that she has zero due, so that's kind of nice. So for you, it would show what you have for an account balance due. So it was under students, business office, my account balance. So that was great. Great question. Thank you. What else did I not click on? Says we have
See if you can go to financial aid.
financial aid. Let's see what we can find. More forms from financial aid. Sorry I didn't show you this either. These are places to click on for FAFSA, places you can complete for your loans, and also, once again, you would always want to pick the one-day student financial aid because that's the more direct student function for us in the either online or one-day-a-week Saturday students. So a little bit more information. Mostly here it's just links. But again, that was under students and financial aid. Great. Good job. Excellent. So like I said, we're just really clicking around the portal. Certainly all things you can do. If you have questions after this that I didn't show you, please feel free either through the EXT097 course, send me a message there, or through email. My name's Diane Reinhardt, and what you're noticing probably if you've studied using the BayPath Gmail, it loads all of our students, which is really great. So you know Shirley Montavani. If you start typing Shirley, you'll find all the Shirleys that are within the BayPath system, and you can get to Shirley Montavani. So pretty cool. All right, well, you guys have done phenomenally. You've listened to us for a full hour, and that's longer than we can even listen to ourselves generally. So you've done great. Again, jump right into the portal. Jump right into the EXT097 course. Start looking at your classes. Again, once again, courses. This should be showing your courses that you're actually enrolled in for this session. If you don't see it and it shows up in here, I did click, give me a sec. It's waiting. Under a future enrollment, let me know, because that'll mean that I need to let my instructors know to post the course for it to be available to you. So future enrollments. So if you see it down there, that'll let you know that it's actually not available to you. And I know several of you have asked, will EXT097 be available to you? And it will. It will show up in your past enrollments. So you can always use it as a resource down the road. So please focus on the assignments, focus on the things that you need to be ready for your classes on day one, and get started. So again, we can't thank you enough for your attention and questions. And as always, questions, email us after the fact, and this will be going out as a recording to you tomorrow. So again, I thank you, and have yourselves a great night. Feel free to log off at your convenience.
Good night.